Floyd was built to be the villain.
Legend versus legend. So, I mean, that speaks for itself.
It's like having a loyal girlfriend and ditching her for a hot one-night stand who ghosts you. You're left with nothing, and you go home with a hairy palm.
Terence Crawford didn't have the wide-eye look. In fact, when he stepped from behind the tunnel and came out, he seemed to come alive when he saw the crowd. He looked up and he saw those people, and even though it was a pro-Canelo crowd, it looked like it woke him up. And then when I saw Canelo, what I noticed about him was that brother looked a lot different tonight than he did yesterday in his face. He was full-faced. His body looked like he put the weight on. During that first round, the first 2-3 seconds, they touched gloves and Crawford flicked 2 jabs at Canelo and kind of stood his ground. And I said, okay, we're going to have a real fight tonight.
That's how Floyd is. He's very.
Do you think he's the great? You think he's the greatest? One of the greatest.
Every
ever,
great fighter in the world says technically there's nobody better.
Yeah.
Every single,
easily the best counterpuncher.
No, every great fighter in the world says there's nobody better. But when you're talking about wins,
right?
Not the best heavyweight champ is Mike Tyson. Right. I think, right? Like the scariest guy because his force is just so.
It's insane.
Yeah,
but Logan having almost beat Floyd, that's got to put him in the top 3, greatest.
Recently, Oscar De La Hoya shook the boxing world with a bold statement that sent shockwaves across the entire fight community.
Floyd was built to be the villain. Floyd was built with his opponents that we put in front of him, from Miguel Cotto to everybody. He was the villain, and in a movie, you need the hero and a villain, and Floyd was the perfect villain. Mm-hmm. People love to hate him, and guess what? He made a whole career about it, and he's one of the greatest.
Do you think people tune in to watch the greatness or tune in to watch him lose?
A lot of people tuned in to watch him lose, but a lot of people also tuned in to watch greatness.
I know the purist like yourself, people that's been around the boxing game, the fight game for an extended period of time, they understand who he is.
Sure.
But do you think the casual, the layperson realize how great he is?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
His remarks didn't just reopen an old feud. They pulled 2 of this era's most dominant fighters into a storm of heated debate. What ignited it all was something no one saw coming. Terence "Bud" Crawford had just pulled off the unthinkable, etching his name into history by dismantling Canelo Alvarez and becoming the first male boxer ever to hold undisputed titles in 3 separate weight divisions.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring them. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Oh, yes.
That makes a difference to...
It was the kind of win that defined an entire career, a triumph that cemented Crawford's place among the all-time greats. Yet, in the aftermath, it wasn't the victor who stole the headlines. Instead, it was Canelo, the defeated warrior, who dropped the most explosive statement of the night. Just one sentence was enough to set the boxing world ablaze, reigniting a long-brewing debate and forcing fans and analysts everywhere to choose sides. And that's when Oscar De La Hoya stepped into the fire.
Who would have won, Crawford or Mayweather? Prime for prime.
Crawford.
Really? Why?
Because Crawford is a unique kind of fighter that other fighters haven't seen. And the ability that he has to switch, fighters aren't used to that. They don't train for that. I just think Crawford is a very, very unique talent.
Having shared the fights, ring with Mayweather himself, De La Hoya's perspective carried undeniable weight, and he didn't hold back. In a viral interview, he tore down Canelo's bold claim with brutal precision, flatly rejecting the notion that Crawford could ever measure up to money Mayweather.
I have to disagree because Floyd Mayweather toyed with Canelo. Like, he literally toyed with him. He didn't get hit at all. Not one time. And Crawford, yeah, he's more of a fighter, boxer. Mayweather's more of a boxer. But I have to disagree. I think Mayweather is much more superior than Crawford. Not just because he beat me and it was a close fight, whatever, or that I stepped in the ring with Mayweather, but I really feel that technically Mayweather's a better.
De La Hoya's reasoning was brutally straightforward, rooted in his first-hand knowledge of both men. He pointed back to 2013, when a prime Floyd Mayweather put on a boxing masterclass against a young Canelo Alvarez. "I have to disagree," De La Hoya said. "Floyd Mayweather toyed with Canelo, literally toyed with him. He didn't get touched. Not once." For De La Hoya, the evidence was undeniable. He doubled down, adding, "I think Mayweather is far superior to Crawford. And it's not just because he beat me. I truly believe on a technical level, Mayweather is simply the better fighter."
Okay, well, we're gonna know in the least amount of fights. I didn't have to have 70 fights or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
But De La Hoya's admiration for Mayweather comes with layers of complexity. To understand it, we need to rewind to 2007, the build-up to their mega fight that shattered pay-per-view records. Back then, De La Hoya, the sport's golden boy, stepped into the ring with Mayweather in what became one of Floyd's toughest tests. After 12 hard-fought rounds, De La Hoya lost by a narrow and controversial split decision. So, when De La Hoya praises Mayweather today, it sparks a deeper question. Is this purely objective analysis or a calculated move? By placing Mayweather on an untouchable pedestal, De La Hoya also boosts his own legacy, reminding the world that he nearly defeated the man hailed as the best ever. It's a clever way to reframe history, subtly elevating his own greatness while at the same time undercutting the man who eventually took his place as boxing's biggest star. This wasn't just a breakdown of skill. It was the opening shot in a much larger battle. De La Hoya's criticism wasn't only about Mayweather or Crawford, it was a direct strike at Canelo Alvarez's legacy itself.
So it turns out I'm not the only one who thinks Canelo is an arrogant piece of shit. Turki Al-Sheikh recently revealed that Canelo refused to meet with him in person and isn't entertaining any deals to be done with him. Why? Because he's outpriced himself so much that the Saudis don't even want to deal with him. And it's all because he will do anything not to fight David Benavidez. Look, Turkey is trying to make the best fights that everybody wants to see. And Canelo continues to take the fights that nobody wants to see. Canelo, you're really making the wrong enemies. But you know what?
And then secondly, there's been some social media speculation, we'll say, about when this fight is going to take place. So when will it be?
Who's asking about the time and the place? Can you be specific?
Yeah, we saw Oscar De La Hoya trying to say that the fight was going to take place maybe in the daytime.
Yeah, this is what I want from you, to say his name. I decide with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick. And after that we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time with this question. Of course, this is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport number one in the world. This is
the bitter history between De La Hoya and his former star fighter is one of boxing's worst kept secrets. And in this moment, De La Hoya seized the opportunity to let years of pent-up frustration spill out, turning his words into a calculated strike that cut far deeper than simple boxing analysis.
Makes me horny.
Yeah, baby.
To tell you I told you so.
I tell you.
I predicted the Canelo Crawford fight like a goddamn fortune teller.
You're the Oracle?
Canelo's feet were cemented on the canvas as he was hitting air. What the fuck was that? Props to Crawford.
Thank you.
He came up 3 weight classes and fought a beautiful fight.
Good job.
What a great performance.
Did you get what you was looking for?
Like taking candy from a baby.
My candy!
Look, I promoted Canelo's entire career.
Put some fucking respect on it.
And it was a huge flop.
How do you like them apples?
The only real fighters he's faced were Mayweather, Bivol, and Crawford, and they all toyed with him. Even Mayweather knew Crawford was going to school him.
Thank you.
He put $50,000 on Crawford.
To grasp the venom behind De La Hoya's words, you first have to understand their breakup. Golden Boy Promotions, led by De La Hoya, took a young Canelo Alvarez and built him into a global superstar. For years, they were an unbeatable team, dominating the sport together. But eventually, cracks began to show. The partnership unraveled, in dramatic fashion, ending in a bitter public split and legal battles. Canelo accused Golden Boy of mismanaging his career and ultimately fought for his independence.
Y para este imbécil intento de gente que tengo aquí a mi izquierda, que no se le olvide que yo ya vine siendo el Canelo a Estados Unidos y que solamente lucró con mi nombre. Nunca perdí un solo centavo, sino nomás ganó dinero. ¿Ya le pagaste a Golovkin lo que le quería robar? Sí, muy bien, porque sí, también, pero si no hubiera metido a mis abogados, me lo robas. Es lo único que hace este hombre es ser una lacra del boxeo, robarle a los boxeadores. Para el que esté con él, meta por favor ahí a sus abogados, porque seguramente les está robando. Es lo único que viene a hacer al boxeo.
You know who your daddy is.
Y a lo único que viene es a robarle la atención a Jaime Munguía. No viene a promoverlo. También le roba la atención a la gente que hace las cosas para la cocina. Ya no saben si hacerlas como consoladores o como cazuelas o algo. Porque acá se las mete el muchacho.
Yeah, I find it quite weird, really. Like, you know, on one hand, Oscar's sort of, his whole mantra right now is how happy he is, and, you know, look at me, guys. And there's obviously this thing with Canelo that just eats him up so much. I mean, the stuff with me eats him up, but this is on another level. And it's like this Clapback Thursday thing, which I think is actually quite amusing. Like, you've got that platform there. Why would you use it to just continuously talk about or try and discredit Canelo Alvarez, who's a fighter that left you, 4 years ago? It's over. You know, on one hand, you're this happy-go-lucky guy, and then on the other hand, you've got like this toxicity eating away inside you that's making your blood boil. Just let it go. Like, talk about his fighters, you know, Zurdo Ramirez, Zepeda, Munguia. I know Munguia's left him, but like the other guys he looks after as well. So like, I don't know, I find it a bit weird.
De La Hoya, that split felt like a deep betrayal from the fighter he had poured everything into. So when he dismisses Canelo's career as nothing more than hype, it isn't just a promoter talking trash. It's the sting of a man scorned, taking aim at tearing down the very empire he once helped build.
I don't expect anything less than that with that kind of person. He's an because he's mad because I leave Golden Boy. I'm the diamond in Golden Boy. Golden Boy is not the same without me. That's why he's angry. I have the proofs. I have proofs. I put my liars in, and he tried to steal money. I have proofs. I don't want to do anything against that kind of guys. I don't want that vibes. I don't really give a shit about Oscar. But if he says something here in my territory, I need to say something, right?
Canelo, I just saw another video where you're still talking shit. All you say is fuck him, fuck that. Oh, he stole from me. Well, obviously, aside from defaming me, why don't you look inside your own circle? Because I know for a fact that people are stealing from you. By the way, you lined my pockets, you made Munguia a shitload of money, all because you're afraid of David Benavidez. Fuck you.
This tangled personal history is the fuel behind the flames, transforming what could have been a simple boxing debate into a vendetta-driven quest for revenge. De La Hoya took to social media with a scathing attack, declaring, "I promoted Canelo's entire career and it was a huge fluff." He didn't stop there. Twisting the knife even deeper, he added, "The only real fighters he's ever faced were Mayweather, Bivol, and Crawford, and they all toyed with him." It was De La Hoya's ultimate "I told you so" moment, a public celebration of Canelo's downfall that struck with the sting of something far more personal than professional.
Terence replied to your tweet. He said he disagreed with what you said, but then you also responded to him.
Respectfully, I've been a fighter, and I've gone in my own way when it comes to negotiating a fight, because I have an ego, especially when I'm a fighter. So when I'm a fighter and I'm sitting down on a table with my potential opponent in front of me and with the people that I delegate that are smart, that are business people, it just does not work because there's too many egos in the table. When I started doing that and becoming a businessman before I was a fighter, guess what? My focus was on business instead of the fight, and I started losing. Your window is so short. There's a window of opportunity. Take advantage of it as a fight.
And just when it seemed the drama would stay confined to boxing, De La Hoya widened his attack, setting his sights on a completely different battlefield, the UFC. In the very same fiery outburst, he unleashed his fury on Dana White, blasting the UFC president for putting profits above the health and well-being of his fighters.
We're part of the whole. We were actually. I was part of the whole.
Against Top Rank.
You know, the whole movement.
Yeah.
You know, with the Muhammad Ali Act and all that, and it's in place for a reason. I'm telling you right now. If they change the Muhammad Ali Act, every fighter out there, every manager is gonna have problems. It's going to be in trouble because you're not going to be able to negotiate. You're not going to be able to negotiate purses or this and that. You fight for what they pay you. It's not a way. That's not a way to do it. That's not a way to do it. You have to. It's a free negotiation. It's you know, you have managers for a reason. You have the fighters who should be making the bulks of the money. We put our lives on the line. We go up in the ring. Fighters die. For what? To get 10%? That's bullshit.